Chicago with the lead.
Court. Batista with the catch.
Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life. Hand down, man down.
Yeah, I can see how disrespectful he's being right now.
No, I went to Temecula and brought you some dirt.
Yeah, that's a technical.
Mama, there goes that man.
Welcome back, sports fans. Happy Thursday evening. Kev with you, as always, with my good friend and co-host, James. James, how are we doing on this Friday Eve?
We've made it. God, we've made it. What up, Nate? We have officially made it. Thank the heavens, Kev.
Ooh, we are here.
My goodness, we did it.
This time next week, we'll all be napping probably, right? Your big afternoon.
I don't know. Us corporate America. Yeah, oh, fuck yeah, I am. Us corporate America people, me and you, fucking, they might try to make us work.
It might be working. I think everyone will be asleep when Tommy DeVito squares off against Cooper.
Hell no, that's my guy. Tommy's my guy. I'm gonna be supporting him. Got to support him.
Well, you have to pick him up. You got a bad week in fantasy here.
No, he was one of the quarterbacks that won a game for us last year when we won the Survivor pool. We bet he was the quarterback one game. So I'm all about Tom. You got to support my guy.
What is up, Lee? Welcome as well.
Well, there's too many games for one. That's problem number fucking 1, 2, and 7.
Yeah, let's get that down to 72, boys. I know it'll never happen, but I'll never stop pushing the agenda.
Trying.
Cavs are on the agenda tonight, and we will talk. We should talk about that when we talk about them. So we're going to keep this comment pinned there. I'm going to star that for later. While Nate is here, and as we get warmed up, because we usually talk about football first, since we got Thursday night football on the agenda, but we also have the Hoosiers' number one fan in the audience right now with us, Nate Dogg. IU taking on the taking on the Buckeyes. Hoosiers taking on the Buckeyes. What have you got here, James? Are you pulling for the underdogs, or do you expect OSU to remind the Hoosiers that they're
I'm cheering for the dogs? Let's cheer for the Hoosiers. I'm going to give them their credit. Like, they're undefeated. Like, I ain't going to shit on them like the rest of the world is right now. With 3 minutes right on the dot, that's just great timing. I'm going to give them a chance. I mean, Ohio State barely beat Nebraska at Ohio State, so I am not counting Cignetti out, man. That dude is good. He's good.
It's incredible the way they've turned that program around. Yeah. Some of it with some like cliche. It almost feels like Disney movie level stuff. Like, do you remember his first year when he was trying to get them to sing the Hoosiers fight song, and the video went viral of just none of the players buying in and people were mocking it? Like, look at how corny this shit is. He's trying to get them to sing the IU fight song in the locker room. He's just going ham and nobody's singing it. There's a freshman probably transferred out, just looking around like, what the fuck is this? And then cut to now, and you will see that whole locker room sing that thing with captains leading it. They're getting really into it. Like, he has completely changed the culture in that locker room. And some of it, admittedly, James, was done in a way that you and I probably wouldn't approve of. I think Nate maybe is a bit, not necessarily anti-transfer portal in a sense that, I kind of want the kids to be able to, the coaches can transfer anytime they want, right, James?
I agree on the same promotion. I feel the same way.
So it may not have been traditional the way they did this. I think something like 27 transfers to build this IU program, but he feels like he's got the right kind of guys in there. So do you think this is something that is going to be a bit of a changing of the guard? You're a Big Ten fan. Do you think IU will be able to sustain this, or is this going to be a one and done?
The key to sustaining it is keeping the head coach, and let's give credit where credit is due, because they opened said pocketbook and paid him $8 million a year, I think. Good for them. Good for them. So do I think think they got a shot. Why not? He's done it everywhere. James Madison was awesome under his watch. He knows what he's looking for. He's got that mindset. He gets them dudes that little under-recruited, little overlooked, chip on their shoulder. I'm out to prove you wrong type shit, Like, can he? Fuck, I don't know why can't he? That's in today's era where people are moving and grooving all the time, like, shit. Why not?
Why not? You're in the Big Ten. You're already you got that big win. You're already in one of those big conferences that will be part of the larger college football landscape, no matter what. Like, the Big Ten being that
they're going to be there. Like, they're always going to have good teams to play. I mean, they've got Oregon, Penn State. They haven't played all, but Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, like all in the same conference. Michigan won the national title last year. Nebraska's terrible, so you kick their ass every year.
Means some national broadcasts.
That's some national shots. Like,
yearly.
I hope they win it on Saturday. I do. Like, listen, they're a long-suffering fan base. They're like me, except times never won anything.
Yeah, their big claim to fame is like Antoine Randall L. went here.
Yeah, he went to school here and then became a receiver.
Yeah, he played quarterback here.
Fuck it, man. Do your thing and have fun. Enjoy. That's what I say.
I'm pulling for him too.
I am too. I actually am. Go IU. Let's talk. I want to talk about Lee's comment.
Perfect.
Lee follows this up with a comment that I can get behind. I have not watched Boise State play, so I have not watched them. Maybe they're overrated. Maybe they're not. Ashton Junty is not overrated. That motherfucker is stellar. He should win if he does not win the Heisman and they give it to Travis Hunter because Travis Hunter plays both sides of the ball, I might lose my mind. Travis Hunter is also equally stellar as a player. The stats point to one player only.
Yeah, it's tough that we get each player. Like, if this is almost like if you were going into the old NCAA football game and we're doing what was it, like a road to the Heisman or whatever.
Yep.
And you had your archetype of character that you could build. The 200 yards a game running back or the two-way wide receiver DB All-American. Like, those are your classic Heisman archetypes out, because normally it's going to be the quarterback, right? 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the quarterback, the best quarterback that year. But if you're going to break that mold, it's going to be a running back that does some gaudy, outlandish numbers. Or, again, you've got what has it been? Charles Woodson, is he still the last two-way guy to get it? But it's going to be something popular like that, something, and that's what makes me fear that it is going to go the Hunter route, because
I do too.
How many years is that ever going to be an option? So it's almost like, oh well, we want nostalgia, right? We haven't had this since Charles Woodson, so let's do it.
Running backs never fucking win the Heisman. What nostalgia do you want here?
That's true. There we go. Let's push the agenda.
I can't find it. I texted it to somebody, so I might start digging through. There's a comparison of the last 4 Heisman winners, their stats through this amount of games compared to Junty's, and it's fucking crazy.
He's just blowing them out.
Let me see if I can find this.
I will also say,
I know who I sent it to.
Teenage Kev, and if Nate is still here, I'm sure Teenage Nate as well. My heart jumps for joy a little bit just to hear the words Boise State is way overrated. Because there was a time, right, where they were the ultimate Cinderella, and so the idea that
they were,
the shoes on the other foot, so to speak, and now they're maybe getting a little too much attention. I love it, because there was a time they only got any attention because their turf was blue. But
I want them in. I say put them in. I don't care. Screw the SEC, everybody else. Like, let the little guys in. I found it, Kev. I fucking found it. Hell yeah. Okay, let me pull this up.
Nice. Let's do it. I love it. I agree with you. Generally speaking, SEC.
Put them in as 12. I don't care. Let them play. They also played Oregon really close. Let's fucking call a spade a spade. Ashton Junty's versus last 4 Heisman winners through 10 games. Huh. Take a gander at them stats. Those are some names. Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, Reggie Bush. Those are some players. They all won the Heisman.
Outshined by what was it? Tiki Barber, right? Not Rondé. Still was a stud and the cover athlete for NCAA Game Breaker 99. A gem of a game.
When people go, well, Ashton Junty hasn't played anybody. Okay. You ever heard of Oregon, Kev? You ever heard of the Oregon Ducks?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
How good do you think are they? Last time I checked, they're number one in the nation.
Oh, that's right.
You know what he did against them? The same exact thing he does against everybody. Get yards, get touchdowns. Let's go look.
He's like Pinky in the brain.
Let's go look at what his stats.
I mean, those are video game numbers, right? Through 10 games.
Those are disgusting.
Almost 2,000 yards. This is something like if your brother or your friend showed you these stats on Discord or something, you'd be like, dude, turn up the difficulty and quit bothering me with this shit. You know, like challenge yourself, apply yourself. Okay, sometimes you just want an easy win, goddammit, because life is tough enough as it is. Sometimes you just want to fire up a game and beat the brakes off of somebody, beat them 72-6, because even on rookie, you can't pitch a shutout. Anywho, James, you were saying?
Boise. So I don't think Boise State's overrated, Lee, and here's what I'm going to tell you why. Second week of the season, Boise State went to Oregon, Autzen Stadium, right? At half, they were up 20-14. They lost 37-34. 3 points to the number one team in the nation at their stadium. Dang. Ashton Junty's stats, for anybody that's like, he didn't play anybody, right? 25 carries, 192 yards, 3 touchdowns, took one 70 yards to the house. Oh, and he added 2 catches for 8 yards. So 3 of those 26 touchdowns and 192 yards, 10% of his yards through 10 games came against the number one team in the nation.
Man, it does seem like he is legit. There has been one game that I've seen. I've only seen one game's worth of plays. He looked great that game, but man, yeah, those numbers are hard to fathom.
Yeah, Lee, it helps. It does not help. Yeah. Like, it doesn't hurt them that they're ranked. And you're right. I don't think let me look at their schedule. Like, I think that's probably the only time they play a ranked team.
Probably the only team they've played.
They're in the Mountain West here. Yeah, so, like, they're not in the new Pac-12 yet. Yeah, they've got everybody exactly who you think, you know. San Diego State, San Jose State, Nevada, UNLV, Hawaii,
BYU,
Washington State. Like, they've got Oregon State at the end of the season, who's no good, but at least it's a big team. Wyoming, Oregon State's their last 2. You are right, Lee. I'll give you credit there. But they did go play somebody. They didn't beat them, but they did play them and didn't get blown out. And we're right there at the end. So
sad news is when they move to the Pac-6 or whatever the hell that's going to be, those are just going to be the same teams. It's just going to be the Mountain West.
I think it's going to be the Mountain West plus Washington State and Oregon State and Gonzaga in basketball.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think they got to still add one more team though to make it the Pac to get it to 8 teams. Thank you, Nate. Thank you.
Oh, Nate.
I don't agree with Nate on much, but he's right.
Nate, you missed our Hoosier segment there, brother.
Running back lives matter. Yes, correct.
Running back Heismans are needed. Although we've been getting it, I mean, we're due. With the exception of, I guess Dane Bush Ingram was a pretty solid run. I guess every 6 years, every 4 to 6 years. Now it's been 9 years. Like, we're due for one. Let's go.
You know what? While we're doing this, I'm going to pull up Colorado stats.
Ooh, yes.
The argument
is. Oh yeah, go ahead.
The argument is that he plays both sides of the ball, right? That's why he should win. It's not just because you play both sides of the ball doesn't mean you should automatically.
That is the argument, and I do agree with that.
74 receptions, 911 yards, 9 touchdowns. So half the yards and 19 less touchdowns. Pretty good. Like, those are pretty good receiver stats. Let me put it this way. I'm not shitting on Travis Hunter. I want the Titans to draft him. I want us to get the number 2 pick and get Travis Hunter. So let me get that out there. I think he's a fantastic player. Defensively, 23 tackles, 8 passes deflected, 3 interceptions, a forced fumble.
And that one's a little bit tougher. Just because, like, so for instance, and I'm not saying this is the case because I've only seen maybe 2 Colorado games, but Nnamdi Asomugha back in the day or Darrell Revis, like their stats weren't good because no one would throw the ball in their direction. So
you're right. Like there
is
could
he
be some
getting
of that.
thrown at a lot? Because if so,
I don't know. The only time I watched them play, they got their ass kicked by Nebraska.
Yeah, because it's like if he's just an okay corner and a solid receiver, I don't think that's nearly enough to be worth the Heisman. Like Charles Woodson was something special. He was a playmaker. I think wasn't he also returning kicks? Like he was
stellar. He was a stellar kick returner.
Probably could have played quarterback. Like he was the dude on varsity playing on a freshman level.
He was an awesome.
You know?
He was an awesome punt returner. The year he won the Heisman.
He was just a grown man playing amongst children. I don't know that Travis Hunter is a good comp for that.
He had 7 interceptions the year he won the Heisman.
John says Kobe Bryant better stats than Sauce at Cincy for that reason. Yep. Woodson's 09 Depoy, one of my favorite seasons ever. Yeah, that's truly about running backs.
He played both sides of the ball, but he was not much of a receiver. Woodson. He had 11 catches for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was an awesome defender. He had 7 picks. Obviously, these stats are from 97, so we don't have a ton. He was if I remember right, he was a magician as a punt returner.
Yeah, that's my recollection as well. And while we're here talking about Colorado, I want to mention this. Julian Juju Lewis, the number 2 prospect, I believe, in high school, has committed to Colorado. And in his hype video that he released announcing this commitment, it was very clear that Coach Deion Sanders was a big reason for him making that commitment. So I posed this question in the Discord, but I wanted to ask you, James, what are the odds that this kid actually plays for Colorado? Because I think there are those of us who don't believe Deion Sanders will be coaching Colorado after his 2-star pupils leave.
I don't know.
What do you think?
There was a wild interaction in the press conference the other day where they asked him with his AD in the room, and he just goes, he's like, I think he said something along the lines of, that's disrespectful. My AD is literally right there. So you want to ask me about other jobs? My AD is in this room. I was like, right. There is a lot of rumors out there. They're only going to heat up if Colorado makes a playoff. They're right on the outside of it right now. And we're going to have a shot at it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I think. And I think, what did Trevor say? Trevor said that he would end up going to FAU and play for Ray Lewis. But I wonder if this kid's going to end up playing at Colorado at all. Is Deion going to stay there?
Deion's not. We know the answer is if Deion's not there, he won't be there. 0.
No way, right? Like, there's no way Colorado maintains any of that relevancy without Deion. As unfortunate as it is.
I mean, with those 2 guys leaving, he might not be any good anyway, even if he is there.
That's what that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, is Deion Sanders really going to stick around for a rebuild? Or is he just going to go? Yeah. There's going to be a higher profile job available. His kid's going to Shrine in Dallas instead of Senior Bowl.
I saw that. Yeah. I saw that big get for them.
Huge. So that was our unplanned a little bit, our college football detour for the night. But hey, you love it. That's what we're here for. We love about that's been the benefit of Thursday transitioning from the bounce to just supersized sports. We can just talk about whatever we're going for. And John with a great sidebar here. He may be at the Senior Bowl this February. Whoa. You know what? Maybe. John, I might. We will see about that. I do believe, as far as events go, I do believe they're pretty small brand friendly when it comes to getting credentials and allowing people to go there to cover those things. If I remember correctly, my good friend Meg Hall and a few other Colts podcasters and blog writers have been able to go in the past. So, I mean, Meg's a full timer now, so she probably, I don't know if
this
she'll be
is
there or not, but
this is an interesting take because
ooh.
I don't know what's going to happen there. They went from the undefeated season to, I mean, they're like 1-10 or whatever. They're off, absolutely off.
So bad.
I don't know how that happens. I mean, when you take DJ Ugaloogie, however the fuck you say his name, as your quarterback, it's your first start,
Oh man, that poor kid. Yeah, he had some struggles.
Yeah, he struggled, man.
I guess before we get into our NBA topics, do you want to touch base at all? Any thoughts on tonight's Thursday night football preview? We got Steelers, Browns. Anybody you're watching? I got Pickens tonight and Chubb.
I don't have anybody. I don't know if I'm going to play Russ or not. I don't think so. Going to be a big defensive game. I think the weather's really junky too. I think the weather's really bad there tonight.
Yes. Yep. That's been the reports. Rain and wind. I can report that lots of Ohio has seen snow today. So it's probably just gross and wet and cold.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's going to be Yuck City.
Don't think it will be snow on the ground, anything fun to watch. So yeah,
snowed here today. It's great. Lovely times out in Indiana. It freaking snowed here. So cool. Great. Awesome. Sweet.
Gotta love it. Favorite time of the year. Snowing already. Yeah, so I think I have Chubb in my dynasty league that I'll be keeping an eye out for. But no, this feels like a game that the Steelers should win. Russ Wilson, the one thing he's done really well this year, I don't think he'll be able to do well tonight. As James mentioned, the weather.
Throw the deep ball.
He's been very accurate with the deep ball this season.
Yeah. Russ has been solid with it. I'll give him credit, man. He's been good this year.
Yeah, props to Mike Tomlin. I was admittedly one of the people saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're winning games with Justin Fields.
Same. We were wrong.
But clearly, we were wrong on
his
that
quote.
one.
His quote when they asked him about it, he's like, "Paid a lot of money to make decisions like this." And I was like, "Touche, motherfucker, touche."
Yep, and that's the attitude.
We're just a bunch of armchair quarterbacks over here.
I love it. So give me the Steelers in this one. I feel bad for the Browns. Just to think this time last year, they were probably at least around a 500 team, struggling with the same thing, right? They had an injured quarterback at least. Came down to Flacco. They had to call him out of retirement. So they had gone through a few backup quarterbacks, but they were right in the thick of it and made the playoffs last year, right? And here they are, and I think with 2 wins, maybe 3 wins.
They're no good. And Steelers are good. Steelers got a good defense. Do what they need to on offense. Tomlin's arguably the best coach in the league. Like, they're good, man.
Yeah, it should be business as usual for the Steelers. So now, no, we've only got a few minutes left here. Sorry, gang, we got a short one tonight, but
we went on Kansas City, and we are busy night for us.
Right, yeah, busy night for both of us. We ended up going down the college football.
Of course we did. We knew that was going to happen. I told you pre-show, I was like, it's never fucking happen.
So let's go through one we can get through pretty quickly. I want to talk about the top team in the East right now. I believe is it 16-1 or
16-1?
16-1.
Lost to the Celtics Tuesday night, I believe.
Yeah, it was a tough game. They came all the way back, by the way. I watched most of that Tuesday night game. They had their moments. I think, what was it? Garland just really struggled. But they came back. They brought it within 5, I think maybe within 3, and then just could not maintain it, couldn't overcome. But yeah, what are you thinking right now about the Cavs? Some people kind of see this one as coming out of nowhere. They did not expect the Cavs to be this good. James, what do you think about that?
I've said it. I don't remember when we talked about it on the show or not. I think we did, but I talked about how it was a very ballsy move firing their last coach. They were second round playoffs back-to-back years, right? But couldn't seem to get over the hump. But when you know, like they made a hell of a move. They got Atkinson in there. He's awesome. They got Donovan Mitchell to re-sign. He's got them boys rolling, man. Like they're awesome. They're fucking fun. And props to him. Like they are absolutely good enough to win the whole thing, period. Like they're good. They are very good. They got the best record in the league, man. Like credit where credit is due. They were 16-0.
Right up there, yeah. And it took the defending champs to knock them out.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, do you kind of see it right? And it's pretty early. I think we would both say a little too early, but for the fun of the exercise, since we're pretty certain that Cleveland is going to be right there in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Do you see this as, what is it, like Celtics and Cavs right now as maybe the top two teams in the East?
In the East,
talk about some disappointments over there.
The East is, it's just the whole East is disappointing.
Feels like
Knicks
2003.
are 9-6, because they thought they had to trade for Cat. Magic are 9-7, which is, I will say, surprising in a good way because Paolo's been out and he's out for a while. So if they can hover up there, they're fourth in the East right now. If they can hang around there, they're in good shape because he's going to come back. He's out for almost like 6 weeks or something like that, I think, right?
Yeah. And then next year, the Magic will be the team that everybody's like, well, I didn't know
where'd they come from.
Where'd they come from?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're on that same Cavs trajectory.
Yeah. The Heat at 6-7 is disappointing for them. The Pistons at 7-9 is good for them. Like, they were terrible last year, so shout-outs to them. But just the rest of it, the Nets are 6-9, the Pacers are 6-9, the Bucks are 6-9. Bulls, Hornets are where we are. The Toronto Raptors are 3-12. Do I want to say the worst one in the league, or are we saving them for their own segment?
You can say it.
The Philadelphia 76ers are the most disappointing team in the league. 2-12, folks.
There
2-12.
it is. And we can go ahead.
Worst record in the league.
Spend a little time with them because it's been an interesting week, James. As you mentioned, the record is bad. Let's see if we can recap all of the news. There was a team meeting where it was leaked that I believe Maxey called out Joel Embiid for being late to quote everything. So that's not good. Then Paul George on his podcast decided to do an episode about the leaks and about what the Sixers need to do to improve. A very Paul George thing to do, much like hyperextending your knee, which is the most Paul George thing anyone could ever do. Poor guy, poor knees. Did I end up watching any of that Paul George? No, I did not end up watching it yet. I will be happy to report what was in it the next time we're on here. But the fact that it was made alone, the fact that you would clickbait off of your own team situation, again, it's so Paul George. Like, I would be shocked by that, but this is so on brand to me, James, that he would, Rome is burning. This motherfucker is Caligula, right? Like, he is out here, Rome is burning, and he's playing his fucking flute, dude, or Nero, whichever one it was. I can't remember, but holy shit, the lack of any sort of self-awareness to go ahead and be podcast P. Just kind of like he's Draymond Green light right here. What are your thoughts about the Sixers? Clearly, I have some.
It's I don't know if you expected Paul George to play full season. I hope you didn't, but it's almost comical, man. Like 2-12, Embiid's missed a ton of games. Maxey called him out for being late to everything. Good for Maxey, by the way. Good for Maxey calling him out. Maxey's missed a few games with health. Paul George, concerningly, is the second time he has hyperextended his knee since training camp. That's a scary trend. That's you do not want to be hyperextending your knee like that. These guys they thought they were going to compete for a title. They thought Paul George bringing in was the missing piece. And I told you pre-show, I think they should tank it out.
Dude,
That's how bad it's
Harris
gotten.
2.0.
Yeah, that's how bad it's gotten. Like, I said they should tank it out. It's bad, man. It's bad, bad news over there.
Gonna have the highlight of James Harden this year going, Paul George over me?
Yeah. I mean, he left the Clippers, who are 9-7. They have 7 more wins. Like,
this to me is karma. I hate to say that about a player that suffered such a brutal injury playing for Team USA, and I'm so glad that he was able to come back. Clearly, it's had a lasting impact on him. But, I can't say as a Pacers fan, even though we clearly have gotten the best of that trade, I can't help but feel a little vindicated by it. And I'm sure Thunder fans might feel the same way, and maybe Clippers fans might feel the same way too. How many bridges are you going to burn every town you want to leave? It is never Paul George. Paul George is never the problem. He is playoff P. Maybe there's a chance you've been on what we just listed as 4 different teams that all, in some cases, you could argue the Pacers and the Thunder kind of outkicked their coverage. Those teams performed beyond their potential. But then he was put on teams that clearly were built to be title contenders. And what happened, Paul? They never got anywhere. And what's the common denominator with all those teams? It's that you were one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle. So maybe, just maybe, it's a you problem, my guy. He said, I'd rather talk about Kevin Levine than any of the Sixers. I'm just glad Ruben's not here. He'd be really going for us.
Yeah, we don't need to spend too much. Let's be realistic. We don't need to spend too much time on these guys. Like, we don't need to waste our time. Going to the West, Warriors being as good as they are is surprising. After Clay left, did take a little bit of hit this week. DeAnthony Melton tore his ACL, is out for the season, but they look like kind of like the Warriors. Well, the Lakers being 10-4. LeBron, AD playing really good. Dalton Connect, 37 last night or 2 nights ago. Said it when he fell to 17. Everybody said that they're like, we got to steal. Like, why was Dalton Connect that far down the list? Why did it that one doesn't make any sense. It still doesn't, and I'm still mad about it. I'm still mad he made it to the Lakers. I still am confused. Like, did you not give LeBron credit the other day when they were asking about it? And he's like, 16 other teams fucked up. Like, what do you want me to say? He's like, did you not watch him play? Did you not watch Tennessee play? I agree. I'm like, absolutely. 6'7" wing who shoots the piss out of it. Like, yeah, he's good.
Who doesn't want that? Yeah, and if that's
everybody,
not
16 teams apparently did.
Yeah. LeBron's like, I can't believe he's
LeBron's
dude sitting on the couch meme, just like me.
Yeah,
really.
LeBron's just like, what do you want me to say, man? Like,
Lee brings up a good point. Is it that trying to maximize that potential, people don't want to draft a 4-year player?
Absolutely.
I remember
there's part of it. Yeah.
The Pacers got dogged quite a bit for taking Chris Duarte in a mid-first round. And, I still think he's going to be a solid contributor. He had a decent start to his career, and then obviously there wasn't enough space on that team for him. But, you don't see a lot of teams take the chance now with high draft capital on a junior or a senior, somebody who's been there, who's closer to 24.
They're too old. They can't get that, their development, whatever you want to say, they can't.
It's crazy. Yeah, we've run out of, we've gotten so impatient, and NFL's like that too. They talk about that with quarterbacks all the time. It's ridiculous the way that these, $1 million franchises view investments now. And it's sort of like, oh, we got to get a 21-year-old who somehow also can play right away. It's like what and how and when. Meanwhile, none of these programs are set up in a way to help you transition into the pros the way they used to be. And it wouldn't matter if they were, because you're only going to be there for 1 fucking year. Absolutely makes no sense to me. We wonder why so many talented people don't pan out. I wonder why.
I'll have to go down a rabbit hole. I haven't really looked into how the rookies are doing. Like, I've got Zachary, is it Rishisher, the first pick overall. I've got his stats pulled up. I'm just kind of glancing at him. He has had a 30-point game. Might have to do that for the next time we're live. Just take a little deep dive into the rookies. I have not looked at them at all.
Yeah, we should take a look. There's been some fun.
Yeah, I think you mean Pablo Escobar there, Jamie Jacques Jr. Yep.
I know that 2K just released an overall update, and they were talking about a few different rookies that had climbed up.
Talked about their rankings. I don't care.
So I know they're trying to dial in on the current Rookie of the Year talk. So we'll definitely get into that. Last thing I have here, just because it was on the agenda, so we'll go ahead and call it out. The Pacers are struggling, and I think that Haliburton is hurting. Does not look like the same guy. I think he's playing through an injury right now. And I am appalled by the number of fair weather Pacer fans on Twitter that are calling for this guy's job and saying that it's over, it's done, he's not the same guy. I mean, first of all, this very same player had a pretty bad stretch at one point last season as well. Like, Haliburton is a streaky player at times, but I think he's fighting through an injury, and I would really love the Pacers, if that's the case, to just let him sit for a little while. They have some good things going on. Benedict Mathurin he's taken that step that I've been swearing that he will take, so we're happy about that one. But Pacers not looking like the Eastern Conference finalists that they were last year. They definitely have some nice young pieces, but if Haliburton can't at least be close to an all-star level, it's not going to work there for them. So we'll keep that going. The last NBA surprise I wanted to mention, James, that I thought has been pretty nice, seeing the either a 10 or 11 win Rockets over there. Lee mentions only 4 teams in the East over 500. The West has at least 4 teams with double-digit wins already, and Houston is one of them. This has been a young team.
11-5.
Yeah, only junkies, only like unless you're an actual Houston fan, only the most deranged among us have been watching Houston Rockets games for the last year or two, because they did have some nice, talented guys. They have Sengun over there. They've had some fun players to watch. But what do you think, James? Are the Rockets on that similar Magic Cavaliers trajectory where they're going to be the team in a year or two that people are kind of surprised to see? Maybe the Thunder are a better to keep it in their conference. Are they the next Thunder?
I don't think they're going to get to the highs of the Thunder. I don't think they have the dudes like that. The Thunder had so many young guys. But they're good, man. Old Freddie Smooth's there. Jalen Green, Sengun's good. They've got high draft picks all over the place. Jabari Smith Jr., Amon Thompson's on that team. Old Dylan Brooks.
And Dylan Brooks.
They're fun, man. They're fun and good. Like,
you saved the best for last.
Great. Got a good coach too. Give credit there. Got a good coach.
Yeah, I love to see it. And that's, to me, we get into arguments with some people online sometimes who don't believe in I hate to even use the phrase process, because that draws comparisons to the team we shall not name again this episode. But I make this argument a lot that you don't want to be in the middle. It's much better to embrace being bad and to invest in young talent. Let the young talent grow. You never know. You might end up with an extra star or two, or at least another solid role player, just by letting a young kid play during a season where you're already bad, so you can let him learn on the job.
Yeah.
And so to see teams like the Rockets, go from being in the James Harden project with Russell Westbrook, we're not that far removed from that, because these guys move teams so frequently, especially those two in the last half decade. It feels like it's been forever ago. It hasn't been that long since they were in the Harden era, and they've already kind of had a full rebuild, right? They went from the basement,
bottom
and
it
now,
out.
Admittedly, for me at least, a year ahead of schedule. I thought they would make some steps this year. I didn't think and maybe they'll regress back to the mean a little bit, but I didn't see them as being this good. But I like seeing that. It reinforces to me that that's the way to go. You don't want to be that team that's 10th in the conference
Don't
every
be
year.
Tennessee
You're not going
Titans
to get
and
anywhere.
Colts 9-7, 10-7, 8-10. Don't do that shit. I think a realistic thing for them should be to try to be 7 through 10. I just see teams like Denver, Minnesota, figuring out Grizzlies will get back up there. The Kings, like they're all kind of floating. In fact, the Mavs aren't even right on the outside. Like I think teams like that are going to get figured out and get better. I think for them, like 7 through 10, a play-in spot would be a great place for them.
I agree. The Mavs are going to be interesting to keep an eye on. I don't know. Luke is out. I don't know how long. He's got a wrist injury. So that could
I just saw it. Let's see.
Keep them a little lower in the standings.
Out at least a week, it says.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, you can survive a week.
Yeah, they'll be all right there. Well, speaking of surviving another week, we have done it here, fellas. We got to get you out of here soon. Sorry for the short one this week, but unfortunately, that's the way it rolls for us over here this Thursday. So we thank you very much for joining us. Thank you,
Lee. You guys.
Thank you, John and Nate, everybody in the chat. Thank you to all the lurkers, anybody watching on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. But James, where can the folks find you other than Thursday nights?
You can catch me on our sister station Dweeb with Kev, Mondays, 6 p.m., talking our favorite entertainment stories of the week. And on Wednesdays, 9 p.m., talking Star Wars on Han Shot First. We are going to be giving our Skeleton Crew preview next week. That will actually be Tuesday because of the Thanksgiving holiday. So that one will be Tuesday. But please come check us out over there. We have a lot of fun over there. So if you like nerd stuff, entertainment stuff, come on down. Come join us.
Yeah, it will be a blast. And lucky for all of you on Tuesdays, you get a double dip. So you can dealer's choice on whatever you watch first, but you can check out John and the boys over on Necessary Roughness, get your football fix in, get caught up on all of this week's action, and then get your Skeleton Crew preview before the holiday season rolls on. So yeah, don't forget about our other shows. Tuesday night, like I just mentioned, also Wednesday night, 9:15 Eastern. Trevor and Josh talking about fantasy football. Actually, as far as next Wednesday goes, the Thanksgiving Eve, it honestly works out pretty well for us that James is unavailable on Wednesday. So we're going to do our show on Tuesday, which means I will be a guest during the fantasy football show. Trevor's doing this special, the Thanksgiving fantasy football special. Something that they do every year. And normally James and I are on the clock over at Dweeb. So I'm going to hop in. Hopefully we'll see John there. Maybe we'll see Nate, some of the other boys from the network. So if you want to get a head start on your Thursday night daily fantasy lineups, if you want to beat your uncle or anybody else in your family that's irritating you want to try to make some money off them, come hang out with us next Wednesday. Bring a beer. We'll probably have
come on down.
Other than that, guys, we just thank you so much for being here. If you liked what you saw, leave us a thumbs up on the way out. Subscribe if you would. We are very close to 700. So we thank all of you. But until next time, you guys have been fantastic, and we will see you later.